Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into the epic story of one of the Bible's greatest leaders. A man who stepped out of the shadow of a legend to become one himself. We're talking about Joshua. Picture this. For 40 years, the Israelites wandered the desert, led by the legendary Moses. They had escaped slavery in Egypt, received the Ten Commandments, and were on the brink of entering the land God had promised them. But Moses, their steadfast guide, wasn't allowed to cross the Jordan River and enter this new world. So who could possibly fill his shoes? This is where Joshua's story begins. He wasn't just some random guy. He was Moses' right-hand man, his apprentice. He was one of the 12 spies sent to scout out the land of Canaan decades earlier. While 10 spies came back terrified, spreading fear and doubt, only Joshua and his friend Caleb returned with a message of faith. They saw the same giants and fortified cities, but they believed that with God on their side, victory was possible. Their faith was so strong that they were the only two from their entire generation who would live to see the promised land. After Moses' death, God speaks directly to Joshua. The mission is clear. Moses, my servant, is dead. Now then, you and all these people get ready to cross the Jordan River into the land I am about to give to them. Talk about pressure. He has to lead a nation of millions, a people who had known only Moses' leadership, into a hostile territory filled with powerful enemies. God gives him a promise and a command that becomes the theme of Joshua's entire life. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. This wasn't just a pep talk. It was the divine fuel for the incredible journey ahead. So, how does Joshua begin? His first major obstacle is the Jordan River, which is at flood stage, raging, impassable torrent. This is his first test as a leader. Will the people trust him? Will God show up in the same way he did for Moses at the Red Sea? Joshua commands the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant to step into the water. The moment their feet touch the river's edge, the waters miraculously stop flowing. They pile up in a heap upstream, allowing the entire nation of Israel to cross on dry ground. This incredible miracle solidifies Joshua's leadership and shows everyone that the same God who was with Moses is now with Joshua. Once across the river, they face their next challenge: the impenetrable city of Jericho. This city had massive walls, seemingly impossible to breach. But God's battle plan wasn't conventional. There would be no siege towers or battering rams. Instead, the instructions were bizarre. For 6 days, the Israelite army, led by priests blowing trumpets, was to march around the city once. On the 7th day, they were to march around it 7 times. After the final lap, the priests would sound a long blast on their trumpets, and all the people were to shout. Can you imagine how strange that must have sounded? Marching in silence for days on end, with your enemies watching from the walls, probably mocking you. It required immense discipline and faith, but Joshua and the people obeyed. On the 7th day after the 7th lap, the trumpets blared. The people let out a mighty roar, and the walls of Jericho came crashing down. The city was theirs. The only part of the wall that remained standing was the section where Rahab, the woman who had hidden the Israelite spies, lived, fulfilling the promise to save her and her family. This victory was a powerful statement, but the journey was far from over. The conquest of Canaan was a series of difficult battles. Joshua's story isn't just one of non-stop easy victories. It also shows us what happens when we disobey. The very next battle, at a small town called Ai, resulted in a shocking defeat. Why? Because one man, Achan, had disobeyed God's command and secretly taken some of the devoted plunder from Jericho. This single act of sin affected the entire community and led to their failure. It's a sobering reminder that our individual choices have consequences for the whole group. Only after the sin was dealt with could Israel move forward and find victory again. One of the most famous events in Joshua's military campaign is the day the sun stood still. Joshua was leading the Israelites in a surprise attack against a coalition of 5 enemy kings. As the battle raged on, Joshua realized he was running out of daylight to secure a complete victory. In an act of audacious faith, he prayed a prayer unlike any other son. Stand still over Gibeon, and you, moon, over the valley of Ajit. And the Bible tells us that the sun stopped in the middle of the sky and delayed going down for about a full day. God fought for Israel that day, giving them the time they needed to rout their enemies completely. This event shows the incredible lengths God will go to when His people trust and obey Him. After years of fighting, the land was finally subdued. Joshua's next major task was to divide the conquered territory among the 12 tribes of Israel. This wasn't a simple process of drawing lines on a map. It was the fulfillment of a promise that was centuries old, going all the way back to Abraham. Each tribe received its inheritance, the land they would call home for generations to come. It was a time of rest and settlement after decades of wandering and war. As Joshua grew old, he gathered the leaders of Israel for one final address. His farewell speech is one of the most powerful moments in the entire book. He reminds them of everything God has done for them, from their ancestor Abraham to the exodus from Egypt and the conquest of Canaan. He lays out a clear choice for them. He doesn't sugarcoat it. He warns them that if they turn away from God and serve other gods, they will face consequences. Then he delivers his iconic, unforgettable challenge. But if serving the Lord seems undesirable to you, then choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve. But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. This declaration has echoed through the centuries as a powerful statement of personal commitment and faith. It's not about what everyone else is doing. It's about a personal decision to follow God, no matter the cost. Joshua's life is a masterclass in leadership, faith, and obedience. He transitioned from being an assistant to a commander, from a spy to a national leader. He faced down giants, parted a river, and saw city walls fall at the sound of a shout. He wasn't perfect, but he was courageous, and he consistently pointed the people back to God. His story teaches us that with God's presence, ordinary people can accomplish extraordinary things. It's a powerful reminder to be strong and courageous in our own lives, trusting that the same God who was with Joshua will be with us wherever we go. Thanks for watching. If you were inspired by Joshua's story, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the incredible stories of the Bible. Let us know in the comments which biblical figure you want us to cover next. See you in the next video.